All right, guys, so the purpose of this review is to show you the JM Custom Kydex holster for Glock appendix carry, and also tell you a little bit about why I think this is hands down the best appendix holster I've used and what are the specific details that make it so. As you can tell from that demo, I concealed it in a t-shirt, in a light colored t-shirt actually too. And a lot of these popular holster companies, they put out these ads and they say, "Oh, look how concealable it is," and it shows the gun disappearing on a dude. But if you pay attention, a lot of times they're wearing a hoodie or they're wearing a button-up flannel shirt, right? You can conceal anything in those kind of clothes. But what if you live somewhere hot like I do, and you don't dress like a tactical dad all the time, but you want to carry something that's double stack pistol, that's not a little single stack. And I carry my Glock 19 in this, and I'm going to show you guys. I'm just going to describe the features and why this thing kicks ass, in my opinion. And before I start, I will say there's a couple other reputable appendix holster companies. There's Dark Star Gear, Keeper's Concealment. These are other really good Kydex benders, but. And you'll notice I left out some Instagram commandos who have a lot of followers and sell appendix holsters, but their gear is shit and it breaks. So I'm just going to talk about JM Custom Kydex. So this model is the JM AIWB. If you'll notice, there is no claw on this. I previously thought that I just assumed that I would have to conceal with the claw because I had never not done that. And it just makes sense. It tucks the grip, right? But in this one, I'm actually able to use it without any claw at all, and the grip still tucks. So there's less holster because without a claw, it's way more comfortable. And it actually prints less for me with this than a claw does, because sometimes a claw holster, if you look, a claw usually goes right here. What it can do, depending on your body type, is actually kind of raise it up a little bit. I'm trying to do this in the camera. It can actually kind of, it tilts the grip this way, and therefore, lifts the sight channel up a little bit. And if you have a little belly, any kind of pudge at all, it can kind of make that print. I've actually found, so this doesn't have a claw, but it's not a normal clawless holster. So here's why this thing kicks ass. I'm just going to run through the features. So first thing people say, sometimes they say is, why did you get a bright color for a holster? Why would you want something flashy for concealment? This isn't orange because I want to be flashy. This is orange because it helps in not shooting yourself. Proper appendix holstering, the process, there's a couple steps to it. And that's not the purpose of this video, but part of it involves looking into the holster and seeing if you have any obstructions. Is there any clothes in there? Is there any debris? Is there anything that could get in this trigger guard? And if you look on an orange holster, which was just the brightest thing that they offer at JM, you can see that stuff easier. And you can just see everything easier when you're putting it on. I mean, I like to see what I'm doing when I'm pointing a gun towards my femoral artery. Not at your dick, it goes to your femoral artery. I like to see what I'm doing. And so for me, it's like, yeah, I know everyone wants to have their cool cryptic multicam holsters, but it's all about function, and I'd rather take every step that I can to make it as safe and as functional as possible. No one's seeing your holster anyway, so who cares if it's a big, dumb, bright orange? I just like to not shoot myself. So that's why it's orange. Why do I have soft loops instead of a clip? Are they a little bit more of a pain in the ass to put on? Kinda. But not really. It actually gets pretty easy, especially once they kind of break in and you know how to use them. Soft loops conceal better. Clips kind of can make a big footprint sometimes. They actually allow the gun to kind of move with you in the way you want it to move. Whereas a clip's just kind of gonna make everything super rigid, and it's kind of hard to. It just makes it print more, and it's kind of uncomfortable. And also they can come off, frankly, right? It's not secured, so. This is a pull the dot snap. I mean, these are not coming off. So that's why you'll see a lot of appendix carriers use soft loops. This is a mid guard holster. That's why the sweat guard doesn't come up to here like it does on some. I do that personally because I get a better draw with a mid guard than a full guard. The downside of that, obviously, is that the gun is rubbing up against you and you're going to sweat all over it. I don't wear an undershirt most of the time, so I sweat all over my Glock. I don't care. I just wipe it down after, and it doesn't seem to have any issues. It doesn't rust or anything. So I do a mid guard. The other thing you got to factor in though too is sometimes the longer guard is like a holster ramp. It's something you can kind of put the gun on and guide it down as you holster. So you got to factor that in. But this is a mid guard. The other thing I want to point out, so I carry a 19 in this, but this is a 17 length, and I'm going to show you real quick. There's my Glock 19. Cleared, okay, nothing in the chamber, nothing in the mag, right? Okay, yes, I finger my gun when I inspect it. So this is a 19, and this is a 17 length holster. I'm trying to give you guys a good angle here. I'm gonna tell you why I do that. This is actually, so the gun comes kind of up to here. You'll see it goes like this. So you'll see the kind of gun, right? There's a little extra space down here. Now, why do I do that? So on the JM Custom Kydex, there's a couple reasons I do that, and a lot of people do this. So the reason I don't need a claw on this holster is, if you look here, there's actually a wedge under this soft loop that when your belt goes up against it, it will actually tuck the grip in towards your body. And the size of that wedge is determined by the gun you select. So a gun with a bigger grip is going to have a bigger wedge, right? So Glock 17 has a bigger wedge than a Glock 19. So when going with the 17 style holster for a 19, the grip tuck is almost overkill, which I like, right? Not as much overkill as a claw, but it tucks it in really close, as you could see, because this isn't, it's made to tuck a really big grip, and I'm tucking a 19 grip, which is actually smaller. So it tucks it really well. And that's one of the reasons I don't need a claw, which is awesome. So, and that's like right here. And you wouldn't even know that that's even, honestly, on his website. You have to like read in the description to even see this. And I'm trying to give you guys a good view of it here, but as you can see, there's like this part that comes up, and that's actually where your belt pushes off and it tucks the grip into your body. So that's awesome. The other reason I go with a 17 length holster, is the Glock 17 holster for 19, is the extra length. You'll also notice I do not have a foam wedge on this at all. I've always had to use foam wedges, and I don't on this. The extra length of a longer slide gun, and the Kydex for that, actually helps to, and if this is me standing up, it actually helps to kind of tuck the holster in towards you a little bit. This down here like pushes off your, I guess like around your pelvis, and just kind of tucks the gun in, right? If you don't have that length, what can happen is, because a lot of the weight is up here on the top of the holster, the gun tends to want to roll forward. If you've ever appendix carried with a smaller gun, you'll notice rollout is more of the issue than anything. It kind of comes forward, especially a Glock 19, frankly. I mean, the slide isn't that long. And they say, oh, but you have more holster. Isn't that uncomfortable when sitting down? Not really. The extra length just kind of goes to dead space. It doesn't really make a difference at all. And the purpose of this video isn't to start an appendix carry debate. How do you sit? It's really uncomfortable. That's why I said all that stuff too. You'll shoot your dick off. I don't want to get into any of that. There are other videos where folks way more qualified than me to explain why that's not true. But that's not the purpose of this video. Is appendix carry for everyone? No. Is it for me? Yes. And hands down, the JM Custom Kydex holster for the Glocks, particularly a Glock 17 holster while carrying a 19, is the best I've found. And then you'd say, well, why not just carry a 17? That's true. Like I might one day, honestly. The only thing for me is on my body, right? Because this is all very individual and personal about your shape and how tall are you and how wide are you, whatever, what's your build. The grip on a 17 kind of prints for me because it's a little longer than I can conceal. But the 19 in this thing just freaking disappears. So highly recommend JM Custom Kydex. They do offer military and law enforcement discounts, whether you're active or retired. You got to email him. But their customer service is second to none, and I cannot recommend these guys enough. So hope that helps.